The softer side of Scott Brown, a new TV ad featuring him and his wife, highlighting his domestic qualities, if you will, and it's certainly getting some attention. So will this strategy work in getting the female vote? Joining us now from our Beacon Hill studio is Brad Marston, a Republican strategist and partner at 4-Tier Strategies. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Shannon. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. So tell me what you made of this ad now that you've seen it.
Well, I don't think on November 6th we're going to be looking back and saying, this was the decisive moment in the campaign. But I think they're effective on three levels. One, they simply reject the premise of the attacks on Senator Brown. Two, they effectively reflect who he is. And three, really, who better to make the statement than his wife of 25 years, Gail Huff, who he has made a life with, raised a family with, to talk about his true views on women.
So is that what you think it is that's getting to the women vote there, that we're seeing this through his wife's eyes?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't have a successful career as Gail has, as a newscaster, as an anchor person, unless people like you, trust you, and believe you. And people are going to see this ad and they like her, trust her, and believe her. It's part of the narrative as opposed to a defining moment.
Tell me a little bit about his strategy here as compared with some of the ads of the past. We all remember the pickup truck. How is this different, or is it, than some of the past ads?
Well, I don't think it's fundamentally different. I mean, everybody talks to it. I fall into it all the time about talking about Scott's everyday guy, everyman image. That's not an image. It's who he is. And this just reflects that at the end of the day, yes, he's a U.S. senator, but he's a husband and father and really an everyday guy.
A lot of women, though, might say that's just not enough for me to get the vote. I see his wife talking in the ad, and maybe if I'm a woman who's on the side of Elizabeth Warren right now, I see right through this, so to speak. So how do you get to those women? I
don't think you do. There are people, supporters of Elizabeth Warren, who would attack Scott if he cured cancer tomorrow because it put oncologists out of work. That's not his target audience. It's soft R's, soft D's, and the majority independent vote here in Massachusetts. And I think those are people that he can continue to get his message across to.
I think that's probably an accurate analysis there in terms of that. He's not looking for those women for the vote anyway in that group in some senses. Let's talk a little bit about some of the radio ads that we've been hearing from him. They seem a little bit all over the map, but also just very casual. What's the deal with those?
Well, I think it gives him that 60-second opportunity to kind of pierce through what is generally a relatively liberal media bias in the Massachusetts market and talk directly to the voters. All over the place, yeah. Sometimes he's talking about substantive issues. Sometimes he's talking about the Celtics or the Patriots and the Red Sox, which to a lot of Massachusetts voters is a substantive issue. But yeah, I think the more Scott can talk directly to the people, the better off he is.
Let me ask you about this, because we've heard between Elizabeth Warren and Scott Brown say they really want to keep these ads on the up and up, keep them positive. So far, they have been. Do you think it'll stay that way?
That's going to be a tough call. I think, I think the polls are going to stay close really throughout. And so that probably speaks to the ads remaining positive. If you see either side starting to lose ground, to drop that 5, 6, 8 points outside the margin of error behind, that's going to put some pressure on their campaigns to go negative.
They may have to resort to negativity come that time. We'll see you in November. Brad Marston, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks for your analysis.
Thank you.